Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about something that might sound a bit complicated at first, but it's actually something that plays a big role in how we connect with others, especially in our relationships. We're going to dive into the concept of avoidant attachment style. If that's a new term for you, don't worry, I'll explain it clearly and we'll also explore how it shows up in real life and impacts the way we interact with the people around us. What is avoidant attachment style? At the core, attachment styles refer to the way we form emotional bonds with others, especially in close relationships. These styles develop early in life, based on our interactions with our primary caregivers, usually our parents. As we grow up, the way we attach to those caregivers shapes how we approach relationships later on, whether that's with family, friends, or romantic partners. The avoidant attachment style is one of the main types of attachment styles, alongside others like secure and anxious. People with avoidant attachment tend to deal with relationships by creating emotional distance. This doesn't mean they don't care about others, it's just that deep down, they may have learned to rely on themselves and avoid depending on anyone else. Here's how it works. If someone grew up in an environment where their needs for emotional closeness were either ignored or rejected, they might develop this avoidant attachment style as a way to protect themselves. As a result, they may struggle with expressing their emotions, avoid being vulnerable, and even push people away when things get too close. How avoidant attachment shows up in relationships. Now, let's talk about how this attachment style plays out in relationships. People with an avoidant attachment style tend to be very independent and value their space. At first glance, this can seem like they've got it all together, maybe even like they don't need anyone else. But the reality is, they might have trouble trusting others or letting themselves rely on people, even if they want to. Here are some common ways avoidant attachment shows up in relationships. 1. Emotional distance. People with this style often keep their emotions guarded. They might avoid deep conversations about feelings or seem distant when their partner wants to connect on a deeper level. This can sometimes make their partners feel like they're being pushed away or that they're not important. 2. Difficulty with vulnerability. Vulnerability can be really hard for someone with an avoidant attachment style. They might fear that being vulnerable means being hurt or rejected, so they avoid opening up about their struggles, worries, or deeper needs. Or fear of dependency. A big characteristic of avoidant attachment is the discomfort with relying on others. In a relationship, this might show up as a reluctance to ask for help or avoid relying on a partner for support. They might also become uncomfortable if their partner is too dependent on them. Or push-pull dynamics. Sometimes, avoidantly attached people may push their partner away when things get too emotionally intense, only to pull them back in when they feel lonely or disconnected. This creates a bit of a cycle in the relationship that can be confusing for both people involved. The impact of avoidant attachment on relationships. So, how does this attachment style affect relationships? If you're someone with an avoidant attachment style, or you're in a relationship with someone who has this style, it can create some challenges. Here's why. 1. Communication barriers. Because avoidantly attached people might have a hard time opening up, communication can break down. When there's a lack of emotional expression or vulnerability, it can be hard to truly understand each other's needs and build a deeper connection. 2. Feelings of rejection. Partners of someone with an avoidant attachment style might feel rejected, confused, or even hurt when they feel like their efforts to get closer are being ignored or shut down. Over time, this can lead to frustration, misunderstandings, and a sense of emotional distance in the relationship. Avoidance of conflict. Avoidant individuals might shy away from conflict because it requires emotional engagement and vulnerability. Instead of addressing issues head-on, they may shut down, avoid confrontation, or withdraw altogether, which doesn't allow the relationship to grow and resolve tension in healthy ways. Or difficulty building trust. Because avoidant individuals are afraid of being too dependent or vulnerable, they might find it hard to trust others fully. Without trust, it's difficult to build a solid, secure foundation in a relationship, and this can lead to feelings of insecurity or instability for both people involved. How to work with avoidant attachment in relationships. If you or your partner have an avoidant attachment style, there are definitely ways to improve things and work through the challenges together. Here are some tips. 1. Practice open communication. It's so important to create a space where you feel safe to talk about your emotions. If you're someone with an avoidant attachment style, you might not be used to expressing how you feel, but practicing this in small ways can make a huge difference. For example, sharing something simple like, "I'm feeling a bit stressed today," can help build that emotional connection. Be patient and understanding. If your partner has an avoidant attachment style, it's important to be patient and not take their need for space personally. Understand that their behavior isn't a reflection of their feelings for you. It's just a coping mechanism they've learned. Offering reassurance without being pushy can help them feel safe to open up. To encourage emotional vulnerability gradually, if you or your partner find it hard to be vulnerable, take small steps together. Maybe start by sharing a difficult moment from your day or expressing something you're unsure about. These small acts of vulnerability can help foster deeper intimacy over time. 4. Seek professional support. If avoidant attachment is causing a lot of strain in a relationship, speaking to a therapist can be really helpful. A therapist can guide you in understanding your attachment style and provide strategies for working through those emotional barriers in healthy ways. The avoidant attachment style can definitely create challenges in relationships, but it's also something that can be worked through with patience, understanding, and effort. Whether it's you or someone you care about who has this attachment style, the key is recognizing that the behaviors are rooted in a deeper fear of vulnerability and emotional dependence. By learning to communicate openly, practicing emotional vulnerability, and building trust, you can create a more secure and supportive relationship. So, take a deep breath, be kind to yourself, and remember, attachment styles are just one part of who we are, and with the right tools, we can navigate and strengthen our relationships in meaningful ways.